This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Looks like we have some good news. House passes a new plan to raise the debt ceiling on a bipartisan basis. When it comes to Social Security, new proposal in Congress to raise Social Security benefits. I'll give you the latest stimulus check articles like this. Cash boost, thousands of Americans still owed stimulus payments. Take action now to get up to $500 for Christmas. And this one right here, fourth stimulus check is coming for Christmas. Find out if you get one. When it comes to the Build Back Better plan, there was a huge protest in DC blocking traffic, and they were chanting F you Joe Manchin, and they'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So when it comes to Omicron, looks like Omicron seems to cause milder cases, according to Dr. Fauci, as study shows evasion of antibodies. So milder compared to the Delta variant. So is this something to not be worried about? Let me know down in the comments below. Are you less worried hearing this news? More worried? It is more transmissible and more contagious, though. Also, judge blocks another Biden administration vaccine mandate. So seems to be going back and forth between vaccine mandates, blocked, mandated, blocked, mandated. But I'll keep you updated on that. Also, President Biden, this article just came out. So Biden pledged to forgive $10,000 in student loan debt. Here's what he's done so far. So to save some time in this article, he's actually done nothing to do student loan forgiveness as a whole. So he's done a few things where he's done student loan forgiveness for people with disabilities, public service, things like that. But when it comes to the overall $10,000 in student loan forgiveness for everybody, he has not done anything with that. Also right here, the time for procrastination is over. How one Democratic lawmaker wants to fix Social Security. So there is a new proposal in Congress for Social Security. The bill takes cues from President Joe Biden's campaign. While Republicans are skeptical of the plan, Democrats are hoping for a vote on it this spring. So timeline would be not until spring, although introduced recently. Let me give you some benefits of this Social Security bill right here. So it would provide a benefit increase for new and current beneficiaries amounting to about 2% of the average benefit. Then the bill would set the minimum benefit at 125% of the poverty line. It would also repeal certain rules that make it so public workers and their families with pension income wouldn't receive reduced benefits, which is now the case. So to give you some math of exactly how those numbers work, $12,800 per year is the federal poverty line. So I have that right here. If we divide that or multiply it by 125%, comes out to 16,100. If we divide that by 12, it's going to give you $1,341 per month compared to what it was before. So that's a big increase in pay with the Social Security. There are a lot of other benefits, but that's just the main one I wanted to point out. When it comes to stimulus check news and articles, so we have this one right here. Fourth stimulus check is coming for Christmas. Find out if you get one. So this is just a completely false headline. I always want to point out these headlines and share the news with you and point out the misleading ones. This one is just completely false. There is no fourth stimulus check coming for Christmas. This is actually just referring to the child tax credit, which is coming for all parents, as it did the past 5 months. This is the sixth payment on December 15th. Then we have this one right here. Americans push for $1,000 and $2,000 stimulus checks before Christmas. So there is a push for it, but there has not been any legislation or backing or endorsing from politicians for any $1,000 or $2,000 stimulus checks. Talking about the general stimulus check there. Also, this one right here, thousands of Americans are still owed stimulus payments. Take action now to get up to $500 for Christmas. So this is specifically for the Maryland stimulus check. So a total of 422,531 Maryland residents were eligible for state stimulus checks of $300 for individuals, $500 if you had any kids. And so basically, if you are in Maryland and you didn't get the stimulus check, but you could call a number to claim it. I'll give you the number right here. I'll highlight it and I'll say it is 800-638-2937. If you are in Maryland and you're deserving of that $300 or $500 check, you could call that number to get that. So that's what that article is talking about there. Also, we have this article right here. Beware of $3,600 stimulus for homeowners Facebook scams. So you got to be really careful with scams. Speaking of scams, if you see any weird comments from the Wise Flies logo down in the comments below, it's still popping up. It's crazy. Asking for a WhatsApp number or something like that. That is not me. I would never get any information from you. I would never ask you to contact me from a different number or WhatsApp or ask for any of your personal information at all. So be aware of that. This is another scam. So basically, you could see this ad right here. I could zoom in. So this was featured on Fox News last night. All I did was enter my zip, and now I'm getting $3,600 back in savings. So basically, they're just fishing for information. They say, hey, if you want a $3,600 check, then give me your information, give me your social, give me your address, all that. So don't fall for that. There's not going to be any stimulus checks through social media or Facebook. All right, when it comes to what's going on with the Build Back Better bill? So climate protesters block traffic in D.C. during rush hour, saying, F Joe Manchin, D.C. hates you. So yeah, this was a big thing that happened in Washington, D.C., protesting for the Build Back Better bill, basically saying that Joe Manchin is holding it up. Here, I could play a little bit right here. So you can see some of the protests that were going on, completely blocking traffic right there. So yeah, they're calling on Joe Manchin to be on board for the Build Back Better plan, which at the moment doesn't seem like he is for it, and this is mainly for the climate action part of that bill. Speaking of the Build Back Better bill, here is Representative Wild, Democrat, talking about why the Build Back Better bill needs to happen.
Evening. According to the Morning Consult and Political poll, 90% of Americans say they are concerned with the economy. 87% say they're concerned with inflation. Why do you think you and your colleagues had to write a letter to leadership for this issue to get noticed?
Because, thank you, first of all, Eamon, I just want to make sure that we stay focused on economic issues that are so incredibly important to every American, whether they are facing rising prices in the grocery store or at the gas pump. The fact of the matter is unemployment has plummeted. Our employers that we were so worried about them having a workforce issue just a couple of months ago are now actually not filling as many jobs or not reporting as many jobs open because they have filled those positions. And we know that Americans are spending freely. So I want to make sure that we keep economic issues at the top of the priority list for our leadership. But at the same time, I think that the rumors of this economic demise are greatly exaggerated. I think we're in really good shape going into 2022.
What are your thoughts on what Representative Wild has to say? Here is the Republican perspective. Pretty much every day we're getting a Democrat-Republican perspective, but let me know what your perspective is. Take a look at this right here.
$100 billion apart, but both clearly show that the full cost of the bill, the true cost of the bill without gimmicks, is above $4.5 trillion and approaching $5 trillion. They also talk about deficits, all three of these entities. CBO, scoring the gimmicky bill language, says there's still a deficit. Remember the claim that there's zero cost here? Even if you take the bill with its gimmicks, it's got $400 billion of deficit, according to CBO. And if you don't take the gimmicks, it's got $2.7 trillion of deficit under the Penn-Wharton study and $2.8 trillion of deficit under the CRFB study. Now, these charts tell it all, but let's go on just a little bit. We have all seen that these proposals that are included here are driving, along with the previous policies and enactments that the Congress has seen happen in the last 2 years, a significant impact. They do nothing to address rising consumer prices and supply chain issues, but the taxes that are in these proposals, the revenue that is included in these proposals, includes more than $800 billion of tax increases on American companies with supply chain issues and worker shortages. And study after study shows that these so-called corporate taxes fall mostly on labor and capital. That's on workers, jobs, salaries, and benefits, and on investors, retirees, and pensioners. That's where the burden of the taxes fall. The Democrats' book minimum tax would overwhelmingly hit American manufacturers, workers, and pensions. And even the Tax Policy Center, which generally leans toward the Democrat side, has acknowledged how harmful the book minimum tax would be for capital investment in the United States. International tax increases would overwhelmingly hit American companies operating globally, not their foreign competitors, giving China yet again another advantage competitively.
When it comes to actually passing the Build Back Better bill, so Chuck Schumer says that everything is still on schedule to pass before Christmas, although we haven't really seen much action or movement with it. Also, it still does not contain any stimulus checks. It does have a lot of stimulus provisions in it, but no stimulus checks. So let's talk about the debt ceiling. So House passes new debt ceiling plan after McConnell cuts deal with Democrats. So finally, December 15th is supposedly the drop-dead deadline of when we have to pass the debt ceiling. Here is the latest video clip, and I'll give you some more information on the other side.
Well, Kelly, lawmakers are coalescing around a plan to raise the debt limit by $2 trillion. That's according to a source, and that would be long enough to last through the midterms. Now, both Republicans and Democrats would need to get on board with this plan, but it would create a fast-track process that would allow Democrats in the Senate to raise the debt limit with just a simple majority vote, 51 votes. This would be a one-shot deal. The authority to do this would expire in January, so that Democrats would not be able to use this repeatedly. But again, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are now considering a plan to raise the debt limit by $2 trillion. That would get them through the midterms and end some of the political brinksmanship we've seen over the past few months. Guys.
That was just a little bit of information. Here's some more information right here. House takes key step toward raising the debt ceiling as deadline draws. So House passed a bill that would allow the Senate to raise the debt ceiling with a simple majority vote. Once the legislation gets through the Senate and to President Joe Biden's desk, Congress can hold separate votes to increase the U.S. borrowing limit, and the U.S. is expected to hit the debt ceiling around December 15th, which raises a threat of default, which is just 1 week away before the U.S. defaults on all its trillions of dollars, and I guess it'll cause an economic spiral downward. So far looking good. They need 51 votes. Looks like everybody is on board for it to raise it by $2 trillion. So hopefully the world doesn't end on December 15th, but I'll keep you updated. And that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you that something that you should really do. Like if you make a mistake, learn by experience and make mistakes. And I see you in the next video. Hi guys. Monster ice bleeding. Don't say that. Hi guys. I wish them breathe and breathe. I could. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So my daughter Bella did her first aerial class, silk aerial class, where they hold on to the two little ropes, silk string, strand, rags, ropes, whatever they are, and was able to do certain tricks and spin around. So that was her very first class. Here are the clips from that. She's really excited about it. Teacher said that she was a natural so far. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with that. I'm pretty excited and proud for her. If you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here or down here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.